Why is it?
It's
Is
evil.
that its face in a rock?
Yeah, I was just staring into a rock.
I do like the coloration of this
Wow.
one, blue and brown.
Yep, blue-brown. He died in a hurry. Oh,
People are always surprised when they find out I actually don't mind bugs.
I'm really proud of our achievement.
which is?
We annihilated the box elder bug
Yeah.
population outside our house.
I think about that every once in a while. I'm just like, I feel kind of bad because, like, that was a lot of bugs to kill. But at the same time, they were infesting our house.
Mm-hmm. Like, imagine them lining all the windowsills.
And crawling inside.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah, on the floor, up by the lights. And the thing is, when you had viewed the house before we rented it, you could see those in the windowsills, and they vacuumed up the ones that had gotten on the floor, but when the summer came, whoa boy. I mean, maybe it wasn't even the summer, maybe it was even the starting of spring. They just started attempting to crawl in droves. And the thing was, they lay their eggs and create more in the span of a week or something. It was ridiculous. So midway through the summer, we just had enough, and we found where the populations were breeding, and found that actually just a little bit of dish soap and water is enough to suffocate them.
They're box elder bugs, not ants. We did have some ants, but
Oh, but those were tiny ones, and just a little ant trap did the trick.
yeah, we dealt with those fast.
Yeah, but the box elder bugs were a little bit more, they were a bit more numerous and also persistent in their attempts to breed and repopulate. But we discovered the thing about them is they pile on top of each other. They create these, I think the adults actually look after the young too, to some weird extent, and there were just piles of them in the hundreds that we could find outside, and so spritzing all them worked, but then they were cannibals too. So the ones that you spritzed would be actually food sources for the ones that were left behind, so you just would see them with their little proboscises sucking the innards out of their fallen kin. And it was just a grotesque cycle of death and consumption. But eventually we prevailed.
It certainly helps when the bait acts as bait.
People are wondering what box elder bugs. So there's a box elder tree, but then the bugs like to lay and entrench themselves in the trees. And the thing is, they actually rather like houses when the trees aren't available. Or they actually prefer them over the houses. And they especially love coming in windowsills, especially in the fall and winter. So we must have eradicated the population because we haven't gotten any. And now the weather is much cooler, so yay! But they like to live in siding, by the base of the cinder block structure at the exterior of the house, by the windowsills, on neighboring bushes. They look like beetles. They have wings, but they're related to stink bugs, and they have some orange markings on their backs. And the problem is, when they get frightened or when they die, they poop. So it's rather gross. Then they start lining everything with their feces. Which is why it's best to clean them all up and get them out. But that's probably too much information. But yeah, we had never seen them before moving to Oregon. So it was a new experience for us. What's Google at your own risk?
I am honestly unsure.
Box elder bugs.
Really? Okay, so I want to make...
The bugs, ew. Yeah, did you see a box elder bug pile? Their babies are bright red.
They're almost cute if they weren't everywhere.
They do have cute little antennae that they sort of bob around. And I did feel bad for the babies because they had especially large antennae. But
like, the thing is, they're cute, dumb, mostly harmless. The problem is, they crawl into our house and die. And
they were also mating everywhere outside the windows.
yeah, that was kind of weird. Having a little bug orgy outside is
a bug orgy.
odd.
Well, that's true. You saw them all connected by their abdomens. I remember kicking one couple off because I'm like, ew, gross, stop doing that. And one proceeded to tear the entrails out of the other in the process. Yup. And I think for some insects, that's the modus operandi. Where the male deposits a part of themselves in the female and they proceed to die. They wanted you to watch, Wander. I think it's just because it was the sunny side of the house and they liked the heat. The heat. Now, when it comes to animals and peculiar means of procreating, wasn't it the lampfish? Or what do they refer to them as? Are they the lampfish?
You know, I've totally forgotten.
Anglerfish.
There we
go.
go.
The anglerfish. The ones that have a little light bulb. Well, not the light bulb. They have a little bioluminescent bulb at the end of an angle, and like an angler. They flick it around and attract things to them. And they have incredibly toothy, disgusting maws. They look ferocious. But apparently, the males are tiny. Teeny tiny.
I mean, they're effectively swimming testicles. Let's be honest here.
Because what they do is they attach themselves to a female and merge with her. And cease to be. It's all their internal organs just get sucked up into her body, and they don't exist anymore as a separate entity. Ugh.
Yep.
Ugh. But if you think about it, the female is the one that has to gestate and then lay the eggs and potentially foster the nest and protect them. So the male's purpose in life truly is only to impregnate her. Oh, this isn't a bug, this is a fish. We're talking about the anglerfish now.
The heck is the... Oh, there's the delicious bait. Oh, right. I was making flour. And then I got very distracted with other things.
Now, another
Why
thing...
the hell does it keep using my bug nets? This is ridiculous.
What's the phobia when you dislike seeing multiple holes next to each other? I forget what it's called. But there's an animal for that. There's that frog that has all of the babies in its back.
Ugh.
Trypophobia? Okay. Yeah, there's a frog there. I forget what happens if she lays the eggs and then rolls in them, or somehow they get attached to her back. I don't know the specifics of it, but they get embedded and then they fully form and then crawl out. And that's just grotesque to me. Ugh. Ugh.
I guess.
It's a way for them to carry their brood with them so they don't have to worry about looking after a nest, though. Wait, the mom lays the eggs, scoots them onto her back with her hind legs, and then they dissolve the flesh on her back to make pockets for them. Ah.
I'm apparently going down the bait rabbit hole.
The bait rabbit hole?
Yeah.
What are other
Let's go
really grotesque or peculiar animals that you can think of?
back.
I mean, obviously there are tons of parasitic ones.
Yeah, can we not?
Okay, fine. Fine.
I'm not necessarily against going down this, but like, it starts getting kind of, ugh. What topic did I come into? Bad.
We were talking about... Well, first we were talking about insects and how we defeated the box elder bug army that was attempting to invade our house. And how they were procreating like crazy for a while. And then about peculiar means by which animals can procreate. Because... I mean, insects have numerous peculiar mating rituals and instances where the male just dies. And then we were talking about anglerfish and how the male just attaches himself to the female and ceases to be an individual creature anymore. And then about the frog that has babies crawl out of its back after the eggs get embedded in it. I don't know.
All right, I did it. This is my greatest creation yet. It was tough, but I combined everything a fish would want. Fish will come swarming to it no matter how deep down they are. I hope. Now I just have to get it to the fisherman.
Uh-oh. This is going to summon a giant vile fish, and I bet it's going to look like an anglerfish. Very well could be. People are saying sea serpents. Yeah, hopefully it'll be something cooler than an anglerfish. Anglerfish. People are asking, how does she know the bait is delicious?
She probably just licks it. Yup, it's good.
I admit, when I was a kid, I definitely tried out my fish's fish flakes. You know how they have the little fish flakes? Multicolored. Sort of smell like... I think that they have corn components in them, so I was just like, okay. They might be like cornflakes.
And the answer was...
It didn't taste that bad, but it was very bland. And it was smelly. It was actually a little salty. But my fish love their fish flakes. I may have fed them too much over the years. But we kept cleaning the tank, so it was okay. And the fish never got overweight. I love fish. It'd be nice to have fish again someday. Though, I don't want to test my luck. All the fish that we ever had when we were young lived to be decades old. Well, over a decade old, I should say. Not decades, but over a decade old. So, I'd be heartbroken if I got fish and found that I couldn't raise them as well as we had back then. People are asking, so it's like a salty potato chip? Well, imagine if they're really, really thin and sort of melt in your mouth.
There we go. That's one hell of a fishing rod. Of course, I'm going to need some more delicious bait. Okay, good. It's not gonna use up my fishing rod.
Have you ever tried pet food before?
Nope.
What pets did you even have growing up?
Rat, bunny.
So you probably just gave them vegetables and kibble.
Pretty much.
So you never tried the kibble.
Was not particularly possessed by the desire to eat kibble, no. We'd make, we'd feed my rat, like, Fruit Loops and other stuff.
Fruit Loops?
It loved Fruit Loops.
I can't imagine that would be good for it, though.
It's a rat. Like, they have a lifespan of about 3 years, 3.5 if you're good.
I know.
Like, why not just spoil the thing rotten? And obviously, if I had a dog or a cat that's gonna live like 20 years, like, yeah, kind of wanna go out of our way to preserve the thing for a little bit longer. But rats, I mean, it's just life.
People are talking about how things taste like cardboard. My guinea pigs ate cardboard. If you gave them cardboard, they'd eat it. We had these little tunnels for them that were specifically made for guinea pigs, and they like chewing the edges. But then again, guinea pigs are inclined to chew constantly because their teeth continuously grow. So you have to either clip them or have them gnaw on something constantly so they can grind them down.
The processing materials down takes a while.
I don't believe I ever tried the dog food that I would give
Problem
my
is, dog food
neighbors.
smells nasty.
Well, so my neighbors had a Labrador, and I would take care of her often. And her food, they specifically gave her a food that I believe it was supposed to be gluten-free and whatnot, but I think it was corn-based too, so it smelled an awful lot like my fish flakes. But I was never possessed to try a piece. It was like those small triangular ones. Yeah, my guinea pigs. My guinea pigs loved carrots. We gave them celery. And at restaurants, I don't know if it's common much anymore, but they used to put kale on plates as a garnish. Do you know what I think happened? I think people started become obsessed about kale and putting it in smoothies, so the price of kale went up. So that's why you don't see kale on plates anymore. Do you notice that?
Sorta. You can still get frozen kale on the cheap, though.
Nah, true. But they used to have it as a garnish. Well, in any case, I never liked kale as a kid. Once again, it was used as a garnish. You're not really supposed to eat it. So I would always bring it home from restaurants, and my guinea pigs loved it. They also love dandelions. We didn't fertilize our lawn or have pesticides on it, so my guinea pigs, I would take them outside of my basket and put them out on the grass, and they wouldn't run away, but they would eat dandelions. They love dandelion leaves. And they were fine with grass. They'd eat quite a bit of grass, but if I gave them a dandelion leaf, they loved it.
If there's a way to disallow it from using the slightly higher tier materials.
Ah! Oh no! Puffspear has a story about clipping guinea pig teeth.
Guinea pig teeth or pig teeth?
Guinea pig teeth. Never pay to have it done. I'd rather pay to have it done than murdering kids' squealing pet in front of them. Yeah, that'd be bad. I couldn't imagine clipping a guinea pig's teeth. That'd be a mess.
Can't imagine they'd be particularly receptive.
Mm-mm. And they'd probably bite down hard, too, if they could. I was once accidentally bitten by one of my guinea pigs, and he was actually pretty upset that he did it afterwards.
You probably tasted awful.
What happened was I was feeding him a piece of vegetable, and my fingers got too close to his mouth. But... oh. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have my guinea pigs long enough to deal with clipping their teeth and such. My mom became deathly allergic to them several months into having them, so we had to put them up for adoption. And I'm always so sad about that. I was in first grade at the time. I'd done all this research looking up animals that I could potentially get as a pet aside from my goldfish, because you know, you can't pet goldfish. I mean, you can pet goldfish, but it's not really good for them. So it was one of those things where I desperately wanted a fuzzy animal. And I didn't want a cat or a dog, and we already knew that my mom was allergic to cats. And I knew that rabbits could be temperamental and such, and skittish. So I thought, you know, guinea pigs, they sound great. My cousin had tons of hamsters, and they kept dying every other year, so I was not inclined to get a hamster. And obviously I wouldn't convince my parents to get rats or mice. So guinea pigs just seemed like the optimal pet in that instance, and we loved them. In hindsight, maybe my mom wasn't so much allergic to the guinea pigs as to their pine chip bedding. Now, of course, I think they use a paper bedding as opposed to pine chips. But because she was allergic to cats, she very well could have had an allergy to the dander that they had too. And yeah, Carl loved his rat.
Yep.
Though you've had experience with, well, you didn't really get to know your parents' rabbit very well, did you?
Not really.
And then you guys had adopted a guinea pig that was from a previous owner of a house that you had gone to, right?
Yeah, our neighbors moved away. And we're like, you want a guinea pig? And we were like, sure.
But
That
she
was
wasn't really well socialized.
A bit of a mistake-ish. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, she was not well socialized in the slightest. Let's see. I guess let's go back to the Maple Delta for a bit.
Andra and I will sometimes go into pet stores just to look at the rodents and the animals.
Ferrets are cute.
Oh yeah, our local one has a lot of ferrets all the time.
Stinky.
Yeah, they do have a musk. And they can be a little nippy. I remember once there was a pet store that had an open cage so that people could pet them. And one of them was awfully sweet and was just trying to come up and sniff me, but the other one, she would come over and go, try to nip you. But the last time we went to the pet store, didn't we see all the bearded dragons were hilarious. They were scrambling up the side of the glass trying to take a good look at us, and one of them kept falling on top of another one in his attempts to do so. Bearded dragons are cute. But the mice were so curious, weren't they? But they're so small. And there are so many of them.
And they do not live long.
Mm-mm. It's a shame.
Like, I think I'd be more okay with it if I was, like, specifically breeding fancy mice like that one person you follow.
Oh yeah, there's an artist that I follow that breeds fancy mice, and if you look up fancy mice are larger mice with fuller faces and massive round ears. And they have really elaborate coat colors. They're so cute. And I think they might live longer than the typical mouse.
But even then, like, I'd rather get a Degu.
Degu.
Degus are just cute.
There's also... chinchillas are also awfully cute, too.
Problem is, chinchillas are antisocial.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't socialize well. Like, at all.
Really? Because all the chinchillas I've ever met would come up to the side of the cage and say hello and let me pet their bellies.
Those must be well-socialized chinchillas, because, like, everything I've ever read about chinchillas, and I read a decent amount, indicated that they don't really like people. That much. Capybaras are super chill. That they are.
You'd also have to make sure that they're legal in whatever area you're moving to, and they're also the size of dogs. And you need to have a swimming pool with them. I think chinchillas have to take dust baths.
Fragrant forest. Who lives here? Do leprechauns live here? I'm very confused. Okay. Back to the Maple Delta. Fragrant forest. I had so much stuff.
But yeah, as cute as a pet would be,
we just don't have time.
We don't have time for pets. Maybe virtual ones. If you could find a really nice virtual pet game.
I'd feel really guilty though.
Yeah, because Neopets, my pets were always starving because my parents wouldn't allow me to go on the computer. You can't be playing online games. Like, oh, now my pets are starving.
Yeah. There's that. There's also just kind of the feeling of like it's not real.
Nah, true. But then what is this? What is anything?
True.
And you said yourself, after playing Let's Go Eevee, you really did feel bad for Eevee that we would turn off the game and
because the thing with like a real pet is that it can kind of do its own thing, but a digital pet does not exist without your input, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And like, even if it was somehow sentient in any way, shape, or form, like, that'd be extra horrifying. Maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, it's another responsibility on top of everything else.
I want to write a book. I want to make a visual novel. I want to make some games. I want to start hosting D&D stuff again.
Yep. Having a lot of creative hobbies and passions, it's really time-consuming.
So I think I'll just be satisfied without pets.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how somewhat tempting they would be.
Well, also not to mention that unless it's a a rodent, you'd have to worry about something meandering around the house that would eventually find a cord or cable and
Yep. Oh, yeah.
mess up your stuff.
And I'm terrified of that in terms of, like, if and when we have kids. Because, like, try explaining to a child, hey, all of these things are terribly expensive. Please don't even try playing near them. Like, I'd almost straight up have to get my kid hooked on books and video games just so they don't mess with my stuff. Which,
the problem with your stuff is it's all video games.
Yeah, they make it easy. Man, I'm still hungry. I love veggie burgers, but I never stay fed.
It's interesting. Yeah, we've been eating a lot of vegetarian stuff recently because even the chili that I had earlier was just a mushroom tempeh. Was it tempeh or was it whatever your protein?
Yeah. Not tempeh. Textured vegetable protein.
Textured
TVP.
vegetable protein. Beans. Yeah, so aside from that roast beef sandwich you just gave us, haven't had meat otherwise.
And I think that's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, we want to cut down on overall meat consumption. Because it is expensive.
It is very expensive.
It rots in your fridge if you aren't careful. Let's see. I mean, just the cost it has on, the environment and then the animals themselves. I mean...
Yeah, there's kind of a mixed feeling I have on that. Like, I've never quite agreed with the whole, like, we should stop eating animals entirely because it's cruel to them. Because if we did, we'd straight up, like, not have them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine
Ooh,
if
is pretty.
dog ownership...
What is she?
It's a dark fairy of some variety. An
The Eternal Guardian.
I'm going to kill it. Enemy variety in this game is a little lacking. There's a lot of recolors. I guess it's okay.
But yeah, I mean, people could also argue that having pets is a form of cruelty if they go down that route. But a lot of domesticated animals, yeah, you're right, they wouldn't exist if humans didn't keep them and breed them and care for them.
Because, yeah, if dog ownership became illegal, only people with specific licenses would keep them around. Would be able to keep them around.
Didn't they do a study that found that cats are perfectly fine to become wild again?
Yeah.
They don't need people.
Because they never domesticated properly. Like, dogs, for example, domesticated in such a way that, like, almost all breeds cannot survive without human intervention.
There are tons of packs of stray dogs, though, but they still rely on being near humans to acquire food and such. So, then the problem is you have instances where they're attacking people, too. Or livestock. The thing about cats, though, is there's so many feral cats that they're actually posing an issue towards, native bird populations and such. That's why on all those TV commercials between, what was it? Was it The Price is Right and such? They used to do, remember to spay and neuter your pets.
Yep. Which I think is still a very valid...
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because unless a person is dead set on breeding, then yeah, there's so many benefits to having your animals spayed and neutered. Just that you don't get an accidental pregnancy, or so that your pet doesn't impregnate someone else. Or
someone else.
Another dog. Okay. In any case, actually, I've known a couple of dog owners whose dogs have died because they got testicular cancer or uterine cancer or ovarian cancer. And it's because they're not really using it, and just having them increases the likelihood of it.
Let's see. And this area is small. It's just 2 maps. Maybe there's one more. But it's tiny. Alright. Back to the Atelier and then plot.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, of course, I want to make a sword. Let's make a quick sword. Let's see. Initiator. I don't think we have Crimenia. And I get the distinct feeling we're not going to be. Well, we can apparently make some stuff. I need for the Genesis Stone. The Genesis Stone. Or other things. We gotta go get some more rainbow grapes.
Mm-hmm.
That's an issue.
One thing that I've liked is when we do see cats outside here, they have little bells around their necks.
Yeah, so you know they're not just absolutely wrecking the local bird population.
Mm-hmm.
I know people like to have their birds outside.
Oh, you mean their
Or
cats?
their cats outside. But it is just tragic when you see them just kill a bird. I'm like, yeah, it's like...
Also, over at my parents' house, there's this cat, and he's still at large. He kills absolutely anything he gets his claws on. And one day he comes out from underneath our deck, and he's like, meow, and I'm like, what's up? What are you doing here? Why are you under our deck? And he brings out a rabbit and places it in front of me. I was so upset, because we love the rabbits in our yard. They're wild rabbits, obviously, but it's cute seeing them out there. And sometimes they even make little nests and you have baby bunnies in the spring. But...
Oh, man.
Yep.
Sort of story time. Back when we were still living separately,
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And we actually need a higher quality feeding ball here. That's awkward. Or can I just jam another in? I can just jam another in for no good reason. Haha! But Shells... Was it your dad was...
Oh, Carl, that's a really sad story.
It is a sad story.
So, I suppose make sure you check your lawns before you mow them in the spring and summer. Because my father was outside mowing the lawn and he's suddenly like, Michelle, there's all these bunnies out here. And I go outside and sure enough, he had run over the bunny den. And it didn't hurt any of the bunnies, but essentially rabbits dig a shallow hole and they put a bunch of fur and loose grass on top so as to hide them from predators. And he ran over it, which dispersed all of the fluff and stuff, and so the bunnies were exposed to the elements. And my dad wanted to continue mowing the lawn, so I got a little basket. It wasn't a basket, it was a plastic bin. And I picked up all the bunnies so that he could finish the job. But I noticed at the very bottom of the hole there was this one bunny that looked like it had just been crushed by all of its siblings, and it was still alive and it was barely gasping for breath, but its belly was so distended, which meant that it probably... If you guys don't know, rabbits, especially when they're baby bunnies, they don't poop naturally on their own. Their mother actually has to lick them in order to instigate a bowel movement with the bunnies, and so it was possible that with all of his siblings crowding him and stuff, this one bunny didn't have the strength to get up from the bottom of the hole and just was trampled by the others and couldn't actually get tended to by the mother. And it was just so sad. So after my father was done with the lawn and stuff, I put all the baby bunnies back, but I kept the one bunny close to the entrance so that the mother could come and see him. And she did come back She did take a look at him. She fed all of the other ones, but then she just left him there and didn't bring him back into the den. So at that point, I brought him inside, and the next day, he was still alive. I thought he would die over the night. We had gotten him some extra fleece for blankets and whatnot, but I brought him over to the local... It was an animal care facility that accepted wild animals that you found too. And they said they tried to do what they could for him, but it was likely that he was probably going to have to get euthanized because he had been stuck at the bottom of the hole under all his siblings for so long that he tried so hard to get back on his feet, but it was like one side of his body was stuck in one position. It was just so sad. And I hate it when things like that happen.
I don't know why I asked you to tell this story.
Right.
Because it makes me super...
It's so
super
sad.
sad.
Imagine having to see that poor thing gasping for air and knowing that it was probably...
That reminds me of when my rat was dying. Because it had hella memory cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, its last days were more or less just sitting around doing that. And it was not good. That's part of the reason why I'm not, super rushing out to, get a pet.
Oh, I know. I wouldn't be able to deal with them dying.
That's the general reason why people usually euthanize their pets before they get to that point, but, my parents were never very big on that sort of thing, so...
Mm-hmm. I mean, the one good thing I can say that came of the whole situation with the rabbits was that that rabbit was either helped or put out of its misery, and then the other rabbits didn't have a corpse at the bottom of their bunny hole.
Yep. That'd be bad.
Because they had to spend another week or two in the bunny den before they were able to leave. And they all successfully left on their own. I found them hopping around afterwards.
Plant seeds. Okay. So some of these are starting to get to the point where they're using up my cloth instead. It's really annoying. I don't want to have to fabricate more cloth. It just means more resource reductions. Pain. Oh well, I think I'm almost done.
Oh yeah, I definitely wept when my goldfish died. And I was holding him in the tank. My parents were like, let's just bring him out and get him ready for burial, but he had been my pet for 13 and a half years. He was a 13 and a half year old goldfish. I'm starting to cry right now. Oh, poor Samson. But I think he may have had cancer. He had a tumor on his side, and I know that you can take them in for surgery, but fish surgery is, I don't know how expensive it would have been, and my parents weren't willing to do that. But it was just sad because the night before, he just started losing his balance. You know how fish have a ballast in them in a way, and it keeps them upright. So he was starting to do the whole tilting onto his side business. I don't think he died of old age. His scales started to become inflamed, and we'd cleaned the tank to try to help him, but I don't know. And the other interesting thing is, our other fish, who was 10 years old, died not long after, but they refused to eat because Samson was gone. So Snow died shortly afterwards. That was sad.
Why are we talking about this?
Are we talking about pets and then pet death?
Yep.
Oh.
I realize I put us on this.
Yeah, you put us on this dark
sordid
path.
track. This was a mistake. Take my mushrooms. I need to go get more of these, apparently.
Yeah. I think in his case it may have been the tumor, because it was getting big.
Okay, we need a new topic.
We need a new topic? Okay.
We need a new topic.
Right.
I am...
I don't know. I still think 13 and a half was long for... he was a feeder fish. He was one of those fish that was a couple cents that was destined to get fed to a piranha or something. But we got him and... yeah. 13 and a half years is a good run for a goldfish. Not as much as, like, you know the koi fish that we saw at the ponds? They were going on 30 years.
So Wonder and Shell, what are your favorite holiday meals?
Holiday meals.
I really like a good roast duck.
Duck.
But they're so painful to, like, put together. And it's not worth it.
My family has a number of traditions, but one thing that I love making, and it's typically served around Thanksgiving, is the cream of mushroom green beans with fried onions on top. I think it's just called a green bean casserole. But I think it's just a couple cans of cream of mushroom soup with some additional salt and pepper, and I think you might have to put some milk in there too. Mix it with green beans. People usually use canned green beans, but you can use frozen green beans that have been thawed and such. Or fresh ones, if you want to be fancy. You know, you get some fried onions and you sprinkle them on top. That's just yummy. And there's also something great about ham for Christmas. Especially if it's seasoned well. Or I should say, if it has a good cherry sauce, like the cherry pineapple sauce. Brisket's something good too. But also, who doesn't love a good bowl of mashed potatoes too? I like to make mine smashed potatoes, so there's still some skins in it. That way you use the entirety of the potato.
Going to make a hella sword. Space trap.
So what other holiday food do you eat?
Shit ton of space.
But what things are specifically holiday, like foods associated with the holidays? I suppose stuffings, but they tend to just be salty and meant to soak up.
My family was never big on stuffing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, this is a good one. My grandmother loves to make those. They're the sweet potatoes with the brown sugar sauce. Candied sweet potatoes. Those are good.
Okay. Last thing. Weapon buff. Oh. Weapon forging. Oh, geez, that costs a lot of gems.
Rice-based desserts. Well, there's rice pudding, but there's also kheer.
Kheer's pretty good.
Kheer is an Indian rice pudding. Well, it's not really a pudding. It's more of like a rice, milky rice mixture.
That's not it is. Okay. Highest quality.
We don't have marshmallows on top of our sweet potatoes. But I know that some people make it with them.
I'm also a pretty big fan of, just mashed potatoes and stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to think of holiday stuff. The problem is, a lot of my exposure to holiday foods is fairly basic.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. I like this appetizer that we make. It's the little hot doggies with the chili grape jelly sauce. I think if you get Heinz chili sauce, they even have the recipe on it for how much grape jelly you need to mix with it.
He likes that sugar.
So have you just been crafting this entire time?
There's a lot to do. So the problem is, this is one of those games that like gets deeper as you go.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, there's so much that you can jam into every item to just make it better. Oh, we don't have enough materials. Well, that's fine.
What? Mayonnaise chocolate cake?
What the hell? Oh, we want to go to cooking, of course. There we go.
Carl loves mayonnaise, but...
I like mayonnaise on sandwiches.
Well, think about it. You know how you might have sour creams? Or, no. Like, cream cheese for frosting? Like, cream cheese frosting? So if you think about it... Yeah... Mayonnaise could probably be a good substitute for dairy in a cake.
It still sounds like weird Midwestern horror cooking.
Why do you say Midwestern?
There's some other like weird desserts and stuff. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Cakes do have egg and oil in them. Sounds weird.
Jana! Ryza, there you are. I've been waiting for you. Huh? I heard you can make anything. Well, I don't know about anything. Sure. I get it. Listen, I have something I'd like you to make. You just tell me if you can do it. Okay, I guess. I want makeup that can attract any man.
Is this girl obsessed about finding that husband of hers?
Makeup? I need something that can accentuate my natural beauty. Allow me to do battle, no matter what the... Wait, to battle? Wait, allow me to battle on, no matter what the age.
Oh, I see. Not to actually battle, but so that she can still have a winning appearance?
Battle makeup? Is that even a thing?
Wait, she does want battle makeup?
She wants makeup so that she can attract men even if she's old.
Yes, but I think Ryza is misinterpreting.
You can definitely make something amazing like that, right? I'm counting on you. Or I'm counting on you. And she's gone. Where do we even start with battle makeup? Oh, there's Romy. Maybe I should ask her. Battle makeup, huh? Well, it's not really makeup exactly, but I've heard of people putting war paint on their faces before battle. Ah, that's it! So, I just need to make something that can raise your fighting spirit before you head for war. Thanks a bunch, Rami. I'm not sure that's exactly right, but you're already gone, so... Oh well. She asked me a question, I gave her an answer. Yep.
Gut instinct. War pattern. Oh, I just made war pattern. Whatever.
What, you have to give it back to her, or you just need to venture back to her?
No, I apparently used it up in crafting something.
Yep, that's happened several times, where you create something new, but then you use it to make something else, and then someone else required the item that you just used.
Oh, Ryza, is this for us?
Yep, this bait should be even stronger than before. Hopefully it'll solve your lack of fish problem.
Fantastic. Thanks. We'll give it a try first thing tomorrow morning.
Great, let me know how it goes.
Let's see, is she there? She is. We have a lot of side quests to go grab.
Mm-hmm.
If we feel like doing them, they're okay.
I'm just curious to see what will become of... Oh! What are you giving them? More bait?
Bait. Yeah, they wanted to go fishing too.
Ah, Ryza.
Hey, Gina. Here's that bait you asked for.
Thanks a bunch. Oh, this looks tasty. No, don't eat it. We need to catch the fish. Okay, Wendy and I are off to go fishing.
Are you sure it's safe for just the two of you to go?
Oh, it's okay. Cynthia's coming later. Actually, you know what? I think we'll just make the article about this bait. Okay, see you later. Bye!
What? They're just gonna make it about the bait without having ever used it?
Ah, they are so clearly their father's daughters.
The old lady need more drugs. The old lady needs more drugs.
Oh, it's Barbara. Hey, Barbara. Hello, Ryza. Out on another adventure. I really don't go on adventures that often. I'm just taking a little walk. But as long as I'm here, would you mind telling me more about your past? Well, let's see.
Who's this interrupting?
Ryza.
Oh, it's Claudia.
Ryza!
Stop talking to that old bat. Ah.
I thought that was you. Oh,
I'm Barbara. Nice to meet you. You're Lupert's daughter. Lubart. Why Lupert? I was about to say Lupert. You're Lubart's daughter. Are you not?
That's right. My name's Claudia. I'm very pleased to meet you. Okay, enough introductions. Barbara was about to tell me a story from her past.
You want to stay and listen?
Oh, sorry for interrupting.
Not at all. Actually, I was just trying to think of a good story, and seeing you reminded me of one. There's a certain fragrance I'd like to experience just one more time.
A fragrance?
About a month after I got married, I received a letter from the mainland. It had a flower inside that had the most amazing scent. The letter didn't have a return address. Wait, did she have some secret admirer that was sending her a rose even though she had gotten married?
What kind of flower was it?
It was kind of pale indigo, and the petals kind of drooped down, and the smell lingered for a while.
I think I know the flower you're talking about.
Whoa! Really?
Yes. Barbara's description matches a flower that my father gave me as a gift. I don't recall the name, though. And I highly doubt my father would either.
Maybe there's a traveling merchant or something in town that might know about it. My word, I'm so glad I brought it up.
Here, let me write down my own description.
Thank you very much, Claudia. I'll start asking around about it right away. And thank you both for listening to me ramble. Well, if you'll excuse me.
I'm so glad to see how excited Barbara got about that flower of hers.
Okay. Got that.
Do we have fish?
Fish. Sardines.
Sardines!
My dad used to get sardines by the can. They had crunchy bones that you could actually eat.
Yeah.
Specifically their spinal cords.
Ugh.
Raph.
Reminds me, I've got to go back and play more Disgaea 4 at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I've been putting it off because for whatever reason, the last couple times I played it, I think it was in the middle of me just being in that like angry funk, or like right beforehand. So I was just sitting there just being like really uncomfortable. Oh. This cotton grass actually is not bad quality. Holy crap, the price though. What? Oh wait, no, never mind. Remaining is 5,000.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I thought for a second I was spending
gonna...
5,000 on this, and I was like, what? No. Pass?